It's Dale D'Antoni here. Welcome to the Sofa Sessions. D'Antoni, Wines.
Welcome back to the Sofa Sessions podcast. This week we have on James, the Cowboy Hunter. He has over 20 years of wrestling experience all around the U.S. He even has his own wrestling company called PWE, also known as Phoenix Wrestling Experience, and is, the company that we talked about when Fluff was on. We talked heavily about the Summer Smash Fest that they're having at the Savannah River Brewing Company on July 13th. There's going to be axe throwing, live performances by Eyeliner, food. There's going to be vendors. It's going to be an insane day. It's going to be from 1 to 6, and he explains everything on it, how it's going to work, all the matches and all that kind of stuff, and a mystery match too. But thank you guys for listening. Definitely go to the July 13th show for PWE, and we'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, real quick before we get into the episode, I just want to say that the video is a little shaky. I had a fan under the camera, and it's just the whole time it's just shaking, which I've done numerous times before, and I never had this problem. But yeah, don't let it discourage you from watching the video or listening to it. I think this is an amazing episode. Cowboy has been doing it for 20 years, so he knows the ins and outs. He knows people that are on the big times now, so don't let that discourage you from listening to it. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate the continued support.
My kids love cats.
Yeah.
But they should not have cats.
Dude, I'm a big fan of cats. Me and my girlfriend, we live together, and we love cats.
I would love to have cats if I didn't have to take my kids to the hospital. Like, that'd be great. And they love them. Like I said, they'll get on them. They love dogs, too, and I have a dog. And they have a slight allergy to the dog. Because
Really?
if they play with it too much and then they just start messing with themselves, it's dander and all that other crap that it is. It's not like a be in the room, they're going to die kind of thing.
Yeah, they don't need like an EpiPen or anything.
No. My other kid, though, she's like allergic to peanuts and all this other weird random stuff and eggs when she was little. Like, it's weird, man.
Yeah, my girlfriend is allergic to random stuff, like a lot of like processed foods and stuff, like processed like fake stuff that they put. And freaking ketchup, tomatoes. Yeah, she's allergic to tomatoes.
I had a friend that was a coworker. She was allergic to tomatoes, and we worked at Culver's, so we had to deal with like ketchup and tomatoes all the time. And that was the one thing she couldn't prep. She was like, "Well, can't do tomatoes. I'm sorry."
Was she actually allergic, or did she just not want to work?
No. She was actually allergic. Like we tested it a couple times. She like would run from a tomato, and I was like, "Oh shit! All right, this is legit."
Or maybe she just had a nightmare about tomatoes.
I'm not going to put it past her. I'm really not.
But yeah, man, thanks for coming.
Okay.
I appreciate it,
man.
Yeah.
No, this is great.
Yeah, so this is your third podcast.
Third or fourth, yeah. I did one, did a Drop the Disc podcast here in Augusta.
Yeah.
I did one, I did the Tapped Out podcast. They do they do wrestling a lot. So they put us on our Patreon page, and then I did one this afternoon earlier. It's a new sports podcast. He doesn't normally do wrestling at all. He just normally does like college sports.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "Hey man, I want to kind of do wrestling." I was like, "Cool."
Yeah.
And then we talked about this one, and then I had a guy reach out yesterday and say, "Hey, I do a music podcast. I would love to do wrestling. Can I do that with you next week?" So I had like 3 or 4 lined up, and then I got the news thing.
I saw that too.
Brandon Dawson from News Channel 6 was at the last show.
Yeah.
I gave him a complimentary ticket. I was like, "Hey, come check it out." I didn't know he hadn't seen it, and I knew he was a wrestling fan. And everybody kept hyping, "You gotta come, you gotta come." I was like, "All right, I'll give you a ticket." And then the way things worked out, I was able to give him a front row ticket.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I did, because he came to me a couple times afterwards. He was like, "Man, that was intense." He was like, "I will come to all of these. What do you need?
Yeah.
Like, where are you going to go?" And I was like, "You work for the news, don't you?" I was like, "I love talking on the news."
Yeah.
Because we did a News Channel 6, the very first show, we did WRDW's Mix, like Morning Mix or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was on there with Cliff Deaches, I believe his name is, and the other lady, I can't forgive me, I don't remember names really well.
Yeah.
But that was awesome. Like, to go into a studio like that, I had never done that. They don't have cameramen anymore.
Really?
That was the weirdest thing. There is no cameraman.
cameramen?
It's just cameras hanging, like in like a futuristic movie where it's just cameras and there's no actual person.
It's like a drone shot.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, it was just like, it looked like something out of like Alien. There's like a bunch of things coming out the ceiling and pointing at 5 different directions.
Oh, dang.
But they had a giant room. And I'm not trying to give away TV notes or anything, but they had a giant room, and it was like 5 different sets, and they could just ping pong, and they didn't have to move cameras.
That's crazy.
So it looked cool from a technological standpoint. It was really cool.
Dang.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. So yeah, it's been busy. It's been real fun. Like, it's been cool.
That's what's up. Are all those podcasts, are all those in Augusta?
A couple of them, yes. One of them's Aiken based. The Tapped Out podcast guys, they're out of Georgia, but one guy's in like Atlanta area, and the other guy's actually in South Carolina.
Okay.
And then they have a third guy that I can't remember where the third guy's from, but they all kind of come together, and they do mostly Georgia, but they do Southern indie. Like, they cover just about the most talked about kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they started covering us a little bit, and that was pretty cool.
Dang.
Where they cover a lot of the stories, they push a lot of the things around, like all the details and stuff. And we haven't really tapped into that. I mean, we're doing our own stories and stuff, but we're not branching in with all the rest of them quite yet.
Yeah.
So what they're covering for us is awesome, because it's just little things about, hey, they had a really good show, or they highlighted our fan appreciation thing. So that's cool. Like, I appreciate that stuff.
That's
but
what's up.
It's weird to just get on here and talk about things. Like,
Yeah.
It's just 2 years ago I was not doing this. I was in the ring getting my ass kicked.
Yeah. So were all of them in person?
No, a couple of them in person. Most of them are on Zoom meetings, or
okay.
like the I forgot what the other one I did. It was another like video
Riverside?
thing. Could have been
Yeah.
something like that.
I've had to use Riverside before.
They had a link they sent
Yeah.
me, and I was like, all right, cool. It's like a video call. All right, neat.
Drop the Disc was in person, right?
Drop the Disc was in person.
had to
That was
go
really cool. That was cool. I
Yeah.
like going downtown. I used to work downtown. I worked for Farmhouse in the hospitality group, the Frog Hollow people down
dang.
there. So I got a big dose of downtown for a while, because I worked at a lot of their different restaurants. I did IT work for more. That's what I
dang.
did on the side. That's what I did when everybody said, hey, get a real job. Don't be a wrestler.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'll go work on computers. So I'm a techie, and
Yeah.
I can do wrestling stuff now. So it's pretty cool.
Dang.
So
yeah, it probably comes in handy with
so much.
with wrestling.
So much.
There's probably so many people out there that like want to do like wrestling production. Like they have no tech savviness.
No tech savviness.
Because they're probably older.
Oh my Lord. So my kid does production, and when the very first show she ever did to do our sound and everything, she had done production at Davison Fine Arts. So she like goes to school there and done
dang.
like theater productions. And so I was like, oh, this would be easy for you. Her first show was nerve-wracking as hell, because the cues are different.
Yeah.
But I had to learn, which was weird, how to explain it to her like a theater production and not a wrestling show, because I couldn't use wrestling terminology. She didn't understand that. So I had to use like theater terminology, like, stage right, stage left, that kind of stuff, where you gotta hit your cue points at this thing. You don't say cue points in wrestling. That's not something we say. Like, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
But I had to kind of adapt with that. But it's cool, because she's learning the wrestling terms. So it's a cool meld. And then I went to a show recently, and their production people, they were like top-notch production. Lights, cameras, everything was awesome. They had never done a wrestling show before. So their music cues were horrible. They would turn a song on. And have you ever been to a wrestling show and done all the wrestling things? The coolest part about a wrestling's entrance is boom music. And then the wrestler comes out or whatever it is. It's that opening thing. It's not the because they had to fade it back up.
Ah, dang.
And that's what they do they push the play button and fade it up. Because that's what you do at music concerts and other places. You fade up. You don't want to just surprise the audience.
Yeah.
That's part of wrestling. You're supposed to surprise the audience.
Supposed to wake them up.
Yes. So it's cool. It's cool to see the difference in those kind of productions. That is neat.
Yeah, but funny enough, talking about production, I've said it 1,000 times on here. I interned for the guys from Drop the Disc.
Oh, word, cool.
Yeah,
they were nice, cool.
Yeah, they're cool. I interned for David for a little bit for his media group.
Yeah.
He just helps people with businesses, do podcasts, and create content basically.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. They were cool
stuff.
people. So that was
the other dude. I don't know his other name. Sean.
Could be.
I don't know. I forget.
I hate names. Like, it just does not stick. Faces, I see your face now. I can pick you out in a crowd in Atlanta. I swear. But I couldn't tell them, Brandon, that's cool. All right, I got you now.
Hey, you remember?
Next week, might not.
I'll text you to keep you updated.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fine.
Dude, I do that all the time. I'll meet somebody and they'll say their name and I'll forget 5 seconds later.
Or I do it all the time. I take my kid with me to shows now, and she gets to see the back end and stuff. And I'll hey, how you doing? They're all coming to me, Cowboy, man. How you doing? And she's like, why didn't you say his name? I was like, 'cause I don't know what it is. I was like, he's the guy in the red tights. I don't remember.
What's up, man?
Yeah, what's up, dude? Yeah, cool. Like, I remember everything we did. We had a match, too. I don't remember his name.
Dude, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's it, man. I'm almost 42. I'm just starting to blame it on age, so it's cool.
Yeah, you
Well,
can
that's
say
fine.
that.
Yeah.
You can say all those bumps that you took, too.
Yeah, no, I've been hitting the head a lot with chairs. I did hardcore matches for a very long time.
Dang, really?
That was my gimmick for a minute. Like, I was
Really?
Mr. Hardcore for like a little while. Before I was a cowboy, I was just like, I love Jeff Hardy, and I love like the hardcore. Jeff Hardy, RVD, my two favorite wrestlers
Dude,
of all
RVD's,
time.
RVD's my favorite.
Yeah, all time. I was this close to working Sabu one time, and I had to
Dang.
move. I was going through a divorce and crap, and like I still have the message from the booker. He was like, "Hey man, you want to work Sabu, right?" And I was like, "Yes." And he was like, "You want to work him next week?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Why?" I was like, "Cause I am moving." And he's like,
You should have worked
"Oh
him anyway.
shit." Yeah, no, it was a bad deal. Like I probably would have lost my kids. I mean, I lost my kids anyway at the time,
dang.
but like it sucked. But it was a real bad deal. So it was
Yeah.
like, and then he stopped taking bookings like for a while there. So I thought I was never going to work him again. He's doing it now, so I might get to do it. But
Yeah.
now I don't want to. So like, it was bad. Then it was hot. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. You're probably a whole lot younger, too.
Oh yeah, it was like 10 years ago maybe.
Oh, dang,
So
yeah.
it wasn't too much, but I was still in a good prime. Like it was a good time to do it. It was fun though.
Yeah, growing up, I would always be Rob Van Dam in all the video
Yes.
games. He's always my favorite.
Yes,
Always
I love
been
the
my
hardcore
favorite.
style, man. That's as I said. That's what got me into it. I learned how to safely take chair shots. I got the pleasure. Well, not really pleasure, but I don't know if you know a wrestler by the name of New Jack.
Yeah.
Heard of the name? He's a big
Yeah.
hardcore crazy guy. So I rode the roads with him for a couple years there.
Really? That is actually crazy.
Buddy of mine knew him. We went to NWA Anarchy and Wildside when it was called back then, and he was in the back and he needed a driver is what it really boiled down to. He had bookings and he needed a driver, so we became his driver for a couple of years, and he taught us how to like the guy I was with named Deuce. He was cool, but like. He taught me how to take chair shots real good and how to, like, I thought I knew, but no. When we used to go up there and travel and go to these little Georgia shows, he was beating everybody's butt. So it was fun. Like, I had to learn, and so I learned how to do it and have fun with it.
Yeah.
Don't ever tell a booker you can go through a table or you like doing that, especially down in like 2001, 2002 to 2010.
Yeah.
Because the Attitude Era was coming off real hot and everybody wanted to go through tables and all this other crap. So that was me and my buddy Matt Crosby's thing. We just went to show to show to show to show doing a hardcore match and beating the hell out of each other. We had different trash can spots and table spots. We'd put each other through crutches. Like it was fun.
Yeah.
But not now. Like I've got two bad knees and I've knocked myself silly a couple times.
Yeah.
So, nah,
Are the tables pre-cut?
okay, that's a big one. If you know how to do it right, no. If you're not trained and you don't know what you're doing, then sometimes these people cut them. But I will tell you right now, a lot of the times that you see stuff happen on TV when they go through a table and it breaks early or it messes up, it's because they tried to set it up.
Yeah.
Like, you put enough force, I could put you to this table right here, even though it's real small, with enough force, super easy.
Do you want to try it real quick?
No, like, I don't want to break your plate. But, like, if I got a table out right now and I just picked you up and I sat you really hard on the table, I could get it to break.
Yeah.
But it would still hurt because it's a table.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of these guys and a lot of people think, oh, they pre-cut the tables or those are sugar glass beer bottles they're breaking over your hand. Or like, you ever gotten sugar glass? Like, you ever go buy that stuff? It breaks in your hand before you can smash it.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many fail videos of people on, like, just even wrestling videos of people trying to do it in a bar and it just. And that looks so cheesy.
And it looks really brittle too. I feel like you would be able to tell.
It's super brittle, especially like the sugar glass panels. If you don't have a frame or something around it, they can break while moving them.
Yeah.
So we just use real glass. Like we used a real door in the match. I mean, it's just whatever. It doesn't break all the time.
Yeah.
I've seen them just splinter. And it just stays.
Yeah.
I got put through a fiberglass ladder one time.
Oh.
We set it up as a weird spot. Ladder was like this, and it was like that, and he suplexed me on it, and it hit it, and then it and smacked and cracked right in the middle.
Dang.
I was probably like in my 20s, and he picked me up and he goes, "The ladder broke. We can't do the last spot." And I was like, "Oh no." Me worried about like doing one more spot on the ladder when I just went through one. So yeah, no. Nowadays I wouldn't do that.
Did you get fiberglass shards in you?
No, it really not bad. The only thing that I didn't like doing, and I still won't do, really, is light tubes because they break so much. They shard everywhere, and if you don't have the right like kind of light tubes, the gas will get to you, and people don't set those things up. And it's messed up. I've seen people get hospitalized for doing stupid stuff like that. Yeah, when ECW was really big, in the 90s to the early 2000s, people were trying all that stuff. And they weren't trying to.
Once.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen a guy get set on fire. Like, man, I got called from a show that we were doing, and I wasn't on the show. And he was my buddy, and he called me from Doctor's Hospital in the burn unit, and he was like, "Hey man, how you doing?" I was like, "Dave, why are you calling me from the hospital?" And he's like, "Well, I'm in the burn unit. You didn't hear what happened Friday?" I was like, "No, what happened Friday?" And he goes, "Well, they put me through the table, and it was the wrong kind of lighter fluid." And I was like,
"The wrong kind of lighter?"
That's what I said. I was like, "How do you use the wrong kind of lighter fluid?" They didn't use lighter fluid. They used gasoline.
Oh, frick.
Yeah, and that's not cool.
So he was saying that using lighter fluid was the right way to go?
Was the right way to go, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a trick. So I'll give a little secret away. Use lighter fluid and stuff like that go out real quick. You know, it evaporates quickly.
Yeah.
Gasoline and other things and stuff like that does not evaporate quickly. So
dang.
That's a little like theater trick. That's not just a wrestling trick. But it's still fire.
Yeah, it's still fire.
And he still got burned. But yeah, so it's crazy, man. It's so stupid.
Yeah, I remember growing up and watching like the behind the scenes, and I was like, "This isn't real. There's no way." Because like as a kid, you're like, "This is so real. This is awesome," and then you watch the freaking fake videos, you're like, "This isn't real. There's no way this is real."
Somebody asked me the other day, "When did you realize it?" I think it was on the Drop the Disc. Like, when did you realize it wasn't real? And I was like, when, like, it really was a while, but when Vince McMahon got blown up in a car, and then 2 weeks later he came back. I was like, yeah, no, there's something up there.
Yeah.
But I mean, they would do stupid stuff like that, and people believed it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool.
The believability kind of went out the window.
You run somebody over with an 18-wheeler, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, he's fine.
Oh, yeah, I remember we were so into it that Raw stood for Real Athletic Wrestling. And then we tried to come up with something that stood for SmackDown.
Oh.
So it was like Raw, Real Athletic Wrestling, and then SmackDown. I don't even know what we came up with.
See, I was a big WCW guy. I liked Raw and I liked WWE, but like WCW was my jam because I liked the characters. Like that's one of the cool things with PWE. Like I liked the characters because you can get drama and stuff from realism, and I think that's what WWE's always kind of leaned into. But even now, if you watch the product now, they're leaning back into characters because that's what people buy into is characters. They want to see the larger than life people that they can't see in real life.
Yeah.
And I think there was a time and a place for the realism, but I think that's fading because people want a fantasy. They're tired of real life. Real life is so boring and so meaningless and crap with everything going on. They want to get a fantasy again.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's cool to see that happen in wrestling again.
Yeah.
And that's kind of neat.
Did you like it? I think it was WCW when they pulled out RoboCop. What was the other dude?
So I was young to see that. I got to see that as retro because that was right before I started watching. I didn't start watching wrestling until I was like 97, 98. My mom picked it back up. She hadn't watched it. I don't know when it was or what happened, but she introduced me to like wrestling and Shawn Michaels and like that kind of flamboyancy. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, this is really neat. And I had missed a lot of the early Attitude Era. So I didn't get to see a lot of the crazy, stupid, wild, like IRS and the Repo Man and all those weird gimmicks that WWE had just done. I got to see when Stone Cold became Stone Cold.
Yeah.
And when The Rock became The Rock. And that's when I started. So I got to see a really prime time in wrestling. And I got to see Hulk Hogan as a bad guy. But that was all I knew Hulk Hogan as.
Yeah.
So it was really weird. It was like my dad was talking about how Hulk Hogan was like the coolest guy ever. And I was like, he's a jerk. Like, he's with Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. He's a jerk.
Yeah. So who do you think is better in their prime, Stone Cold or The Rock?
Better meaning what is the
I don't even
deep
know.
question. Because like
I guess
if you want to
your
say
favorite?
all around, like my favorite, I would say Stone Cold, because I feel like he connected with the crowd. And even when he became a bad guy, he didn't lose that connection. The only way they made him a bad guy is they had to put him with like WCW to make it like an angle. And even then he came back because you couldn't make him a bad guy. Once he got to that peak, he just couldn't come back down.
Yeah, he stayed there.
He stayed there. And The Rock has teetered. Like, he's gone back and forth. They made him a heel recently. Like, he can do both, and he's so good at being a bad guy. That's what made him so good, is because Stone Cold was so good, The Rock was so bad. But people loved both of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's who it was. Stone Cold was the face, and Rock was the heel.
I've always liked Stone Cold more, I think.
That connection, man, the what thing, the fact that the what was organic, and he just ran with it, and it was beautiful, and it's still going to this day. People say what in a crowd, they don't even know why they're saying what.
Did they say that at any of the PWE shows?
I haven't heard it. No, I've heard a little bit. We haven't had our first, Holy S chant or anything like that. I mean, we've had some close ones, I think,
Yeah.
but we get a weird crowd. It's a very big mix of traditional fans and non-traditional fans, and that's weird for me, but it's also very familiar for me.
Yeah.
I grew up doing festival shows and ministry work, wrestling shows, and things like that. So
You said ministry work?
Yeah.
What is that?
So it's really weird. When I first got into wrestling, my stepdad had learned from a wrestling school around or whatever, and he got kind of burned by his promoter. So him and his friend wanted to start their own thing. So they said, how can we they were very big into church and religion and everything, and they were like, how can we take what we love of wrestling and mix it with the church and make a story out of it? And they were like, well, it's storyline based. That's what wrestling is. That's what the Bible is stories and things like that. And they were like, we could come up with something like that. So they came up with a company called Christian Wrestling Alliance, and they started doing their own shows. They started right in Warrenville, South Carolina, right in Aiken. And we went to churches, and we did shows in churches. We had a 3 or 4 match card with a bunch of guys that we had trained. We didn't. I will tell you one thing: we didn't know everything about wrestling. We had learned a lot of stuff from TV and stuff, but we knew how to entertain people. My stepdad and his brother and the people involved knew exactly how to put that story together and make people just right there in the palm of their hand.
Yeah.
We had a couple different stories. We had like David Goliath type stories. We had a brother's keeper type story where somebody standing in for somebody else. But I mean, I'll tell you right now that was so impactful. That company turned into a new company within a couple of years called Wrestling for Jesus. And Wrestling for Jesus actually has a documentary on Netflix, or was on Netflix for a while. You can find it on the internet right now. But guys from Minnesota came down and did a whole story on them. And I was not with them at the time they did the story, but I'd been with them. I'm in the video a bunch. I'm holding on to the guy that runs a wrestling company there. And that guy actually runs IWE Wrestling. His name's Timothy Blackman. He runs that. And then now I run PWE. So
it's like full circle.
Full circle, man. He comes to my shows. I go to his shows. We hug each other's neck and, hey, good luck, man. Doing a good job.
Dang.
And he's doing his own kind of thing, and I'm doing mine. And we're actually being able to give good quality wrestling like we used to. But now we know what we're doing, and we got people to help us.
Yeah.
But the wrestling ministry thing, that's where the PWE heart came. Helping people with wrestling. That was something new, man, because you connect to people. And when you can connect to people like that, you can, open their eyes to a lot of things. And so that's been really cool. We've been able to do that with a bunch of different people that we've been helping. We are doing ongoing with some of the ones that we've already helped, like Bridge Builders Community. We did they did our Clover Clash event, and they're building a tiny home community for aging out foster kids.
Oh, dang.
Right here in Augusta. It's going to be the first of its kind thing. And
That's actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, we're going to continue to work with them. Going to do a show for them when they get open.
Oh, dang.
And keep going. So that kind of connection like that,
yeah.
I mean, giving back to the community is pretty cool. Like, and to do that with what I like doing, I couldn't ask for another thing.
You couldn't say no, huh?
Nah, man, it's so cool. I love it, man.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
Yep.
Dang.
So yeah, it's been a full circle weird ride, man.
Yeah. Yeah. That is pretty crazy. So yeah, you have a big thing coming up in July.
Yes, that
Summerfest.
one, Summer Smash Fest.
Oh, Summer Smash Fest.
So when we first got signed up with Savannah River Brewery, they signed us up for one show. Then we did really well at that show. Mm-hmm. So by the second show, we had convinced them to do 6.
Oh, damn.
So we were like, hey, can we do this just 6 shows? And they're like, cool. Well, before the second show started, we had over 200-something people already in the building. And the manager there, Jim, was like, oh, this is crazy. And I was like, so can we do to the end of the year? And he goes, yeah, why not? And I was like, you have no idea what you just did. And so we planned for that. But then he came back and he goes, okay, July, I want it to be a Saturday show, which our shows are normally on Thursdays, because he wanted to get a different kind of traffic or whatever. And he's like, I want to be during the day, have it like a big festival thing with a band or something like that. And I was like, all right, I've done that before with the wrestling ministry stuff with bands and church events and things. I was like, we can make it a whole big thing.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a whole big thing. It's Saturday, July 13th. It's from 1 to 6. So it starts at 1 o'clock. We will start kickoff. We have a band, Eyeliner. It's a local band here that just started themselves.
What band is it?
Eyeliner. That's the name of the band.
Oh, okay.
So the name of the band is Eyeliner. They're a local band that just started. They just had a couple of their first performances. They performed at like Joe's Underground and places like that. Fantastic, great people. They're going to do some performances for us during the day. They're going to basically kick it off kind of deal. And then we'll do in 2 matches. Then they're going to perform a little bit, have a little bit of break, see where that goes. And at 3 o'clock, we'll go back to our second part, have a couple more matches, a couple more performances by them. And then we'll take a little break. Everybody can kind of hang out and see what's going on. We're going to have acts throwing there. We're going to have vendors. We're going to have food trucks. We're going to have all kinds of stuff all at the event. So you can make a whole day out of it.
Dang.
Kids 5 and under are free, so it's pretty cool. And it's only $20 for the whole day. So you get the whole day. You're going to have 6 matches because we're going to come back at 5 o'clock and do the grand finale. And these matches, man, are going to be crazy.
Yeah, I see the freaking card is stacked right there, man.
We've got Erica Demia is doing an open challenge. So that's going to be great. She's been doing a couple shows for us, and she's ready to say whoever, it doesn't matter. She said man, woman, child. She doesn't care.
Can I accept that challenge?
I mean, you got to be trained. You got to go through like a little rigmarole, man. It can't just be anybody. Otherwise, we'd have fans jumping in the ring, man. But yeah, so she's going to do that. Then we're going to do a 7-man scramble for the #1 contendership for the Savannah River Brewing Company Championship. So that's going to be fantastic.
Who's all in that?
That's going to be TJ era right here. It's man TJ right here.
Yep.
Then we're going to have, I don't think anybody else is on the card from there. No, not on that poster there. But you can check online. We just posted a graphic on it. There's Dre the Goat's going to be in that one. Tristan Moody's a newcomer's coming in. He's going to be in that one. We're going to have Paul Lasher, Florida Man. We're going to have, let's see, I did TJ. What was the other one? There's a couple more. I had to look at the thing. But we have a mystery opponent. So we got a mystery opponent that we're not announcing right now.
It's not me, I promise.
It's not. Oh, Damian Malice is going to be in it as well. He's one of our Colorado connection guys that comes over. So he's going to be a big guy looking to try to get he just had a match with Sean Legacy.
Oh, yeah.
So he lost that one. Now he's trying for the other belt. So he's the dastardly heel's going to be in this one. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, the mystery opponent guy, that's going to be a shocker. I've got a guy in mind that I really want to give a chance to. So it's more or less a guy I really want to give an opportunity to. He's shown that he can do it. He had an opportunity that he showed out for back in April. So without giving it away, we're going to do a thing at the show to kind of say who it is.
Is it the Shockmaster?
No, I can't do the Shockmaster. He's too expensive.
Dang. Maybe next year we can get him.
Then when we do the 3 p.m. Show, we're kicking that off with a match I've been wanting to see. That's Billy Brash, newcomer coming in. He's been all around, but he's never been in PWE before.
Dang.
And so it's going to be Billy Brash versus Drew Adler.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
So that's going to be solid. I've got guys knocking down.
Good.
Oh, man.
Drew is so good. Billy is really good, too.
Billy's really good. I've seen him work at IWE in different places, and I'm excited to see him work in a PWE ring with that crowd. But Drew, man, Drew just feels that fire when he's in there.
Dude, he is so intimidating,
That
bro.
is so crazy, man. I thought he was going to have that belt for a while.
Yeah.
Cody pulled that out of him, man. Oh, man.
That's just how good Cody is.
That's it. Cody is awesome. Cody, unfortunately, won't be there. He said he's going to take a little bit of time off. So we'll see where that kind of goes.
Yeah.
But then right after that, right after the Billy and Drew match, we just announced it yesterday, day before everything. PW title ladder match.
Oh,
so it's gonna be our very first ladder match that we've had. Sean's gonna put the title on the line with Marcus Manos, who's been in a bunch of our matches. The guy right there turned his back to everybody.
Oh,
because he's kind of dastardly right now.
Yeah.
But he's had some opportunities. But he's a high flyer, man. He goes crazy. Dude. So those two guys in a ladder match is going to.
Sean is too.
Yeah,
he can do some
crazy
stuff.
That's what I'm saying, man. So that those two guys in a ladder match are gonna be nuts.
Yeah.
So
to be like early 2000s.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that one. I don't know if Sean will pull away with that one because, but he's proven himself, man. He's had like 3 or 4 matches that have been solid. And him and Drew in Macon when he won the belt, that was probably one of my top matches I've seen so far. I mean, Cody and him were pretty close, Cody and Drew, but that Sean and Drew match in Macon, man, those guys were lucky to see that. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And then right after that's a tag team match. So I don't have them listed on here as a special guest. We got Y2X, who is a team out of Columbia that we brought back out of retirement.
Dang.
Brandon Paradise and Nick Kisman had been teaming for almost 20 years.
Dang.
So they were good friends of mine, and I was like, hey, guys, I want to give y'all a new place to run, new shot. And they were like, for you, Cowboy, anything. We'll come on.
Yeah.
And they get a little crazy, a little evil, a little dastardly. They did Paul last year in Florida Man last time, and they were little tricksters on them. So I was like, all right, I got a team for them. Yeah. Since Paul and them are doing the other thing, I got these guys out of the Midwest. They're called Ghetto Gear Solid.
Dang.
These are 2 of the biggest and baddest guys I could find.
Really?
And they are awesome. They're party guys. They love brewery, and they love like just big old bar shows like this. So that's going to be a tag team match. It's going to be hard hitting like crazy. And then I wanted to do this on your show. We'll get a little split. We're going to announce what the main event's going to be. So the main event is the Savannah River Brewing Company Championship. So at the end of the last show, when Aaron took it away from Cody.
Boo.
Yeah, that was I got a lot of hard hits. So I told him at the show, I said, I'm going to make you earn it. Gonna make you earn it because I don't care, man. You're not going to steal it and then just walk away as champ. So this match is going to be a Falls Count Anywhere match. He's going to go anywhere and everywhere all over this building. And the guy that I got him that's going to work he's very familiar with, and he tried to get him last show. But odds weren't in his favor this time. And this guy, he showed out. He's been helping people when I didn't think he was going to help people. At first, he was kind of looked like he was going to be on the other side of the coin. But I'm going to put Aaron Berry in the Savannah River Brewing Company Championship match against the Canadian Christmas Special Wade Adams.
Gee, Wade Adams.
So this is the first drop here. We're going to post a little bit about that, but Wade has been a huge fan favorite, even though he does some dastardly stuff. Yeah. So we're going to give him the opportunity to try to do it.
Wade is awesome, too. I love Wade.
And try to take it away from Aaron, because, man, somebody's got to take it away from Aaron.
Somebody's got to. I will, if they don't.
I don't know, man. Like,
jeez.
I figured if we give Wade the opportunity to go all over Savannah River Brewery and get him, I mean, he'd pin him on the bar or something like that, or hit him with a flag or something. I don't care if he takes him around the drum set and, like, beats him on the drum set. Or I don't know. But I just wanted to be over. I want to not put him on the front of a poster anymore.
He's front and center, too.
I know. I mean, he demanded it, though. I mean, the champ gets a little bit of leeway.
Yeah,
Drew was on the last one. He wanted to be in the front.
Yeah, but Drew's good. Drew's good.
Yeah, but he tried to change the tap, though. Like, he pissed the guys off a little bit about that. But yeah, man, it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
I'm excited for just a different type of wrestling show. I used to do shows with bands and stuff before, and I love that feel. Yeah. Where you get people that might not necessarily want to watch wrestling, but they'll come see the band, or they're going to come throw some axes at mobile axe throwing that we got, or do something like that. So I like the mix of that. Kind of stuff.
I do too. Yeah, and you said there's not that many shows, and kind of Cody was saying something about it, like. A lot of these indie shows, they'll have like 9 matches. They'll have a bunch of matches. So like by the time they get to the finale, you're tired.
8 to 9 matches is something that I hate seeing on the show. I get it. There's a lot of different factors, both behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, that you do for doing 6 to 8 matches. But when I started PW, I said, all right, 4 matches. 4 or 5 matches. We used to do 4 or 5 matches at a festival and be done. And that was 2 hours of entertainment, 2.5 hours of entertainment that people loved.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get bored. It was short form matches, so like it wasn't like a 30, 45-minute match. Because, I mean, they have that.
Yeah.
I've been on indie shows and other wrestling shows that I helped put on, and I watched the matches. I was at one this last weekend. I won't give all the details of who and what and whatever, but I watched some of those matches, and I was like, all right, like 10 minutes ago, you could have finished this, and everybody would have been happy. But you didn't, and I get it. I get why I love all my wrestlers to death. I used to do this. I get why you want to get all your stuff in, and you want to do all your things because you're thinking about the guy that's looking for you to get your next booking. I understand that. That is perfect. That's like getting your next job. I get that. That's completely. But pay attention to the guy in front of you. Not the guy in the ring, the guy watching in front of you. Because that's the guy paying your bills. It's just like a job. If you go to a job and you're a cashier at the Walmart or whatever, and you don't pay attention to the person in front of you, they're not going to come back.
Yeah.
So pay attention to those people. You know, do that. If you see that they're ready and they're tired of watching your match, go. Be done. Like, you control that. I'm sorry to give that away in wrestling, too. They control that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's the point of us, is I didn't want it to be long. Even 6 matches on this one. If it wasn't from 1 to 6, we wouldn't be doing 6 matches.
Yeah.
And we're only doing them in 2 blocks. So that way, 2 matches, you're done. All right, go do something else. Go watch the band, go throw some axes, go to a beer, come back. We'll do a little bit more. And then we do a little bit more, and we're done.
Yeah.
And then if you like what you saw, come back next month on a Thursday and watch 4 matches, and then go home before 9 o'clock. Yeah. That's one thing. My mom comes to all my shows. Love my mama to death. Love you, Mom. Mention her all of my podcasts. I do. My mom is so supportive. My parents have been so supportive that I have to do that. My stepdad got me into wrestling. My mom supported me. My dad passed away this year, but he was super supportive of me. He went to every PW show that he could, and it was super awesome. This man never went to wrestling shows when I was growing up. He thought it was hobby, whatever. And I was like, I get that. I respect that. He never gave me crap for it. He just never was like gung-ho. Yeah. I started this, and I showed him what we were doing and that it was serious. He came to the first show, and he kept coming. And I was like, wow. Oh, sorry, he didn't come to the first show, but that was just because of timing. But he came to the second show, and he kept coming until he passed. And it was amazing. Like, that was really super cool. And that's kind of driven me to do what I'm doing, because even more, because it's like, all right, at this point, I got everybody saying, cool, what you're doing is cool. I'm like, then that means what I'm doing is right.
Mm-hmm. It is really cool, like, especially in Augusta. I mean, it's a good area because you have the surroundings, CSRA, North Augusta, Aiken.
Oh, yeah.
It's not too terribly far away to where they can, they can come and have fun and still get home in a decent time.
Yeah, that's just it. Getting home at 9, like, getting out of it, I've been driving home in the trailer. Like, we're pretty packed up one of the shows. I think it was March or April or something like that. And we was going home, and I'm driving the U-Haul truck, and I was like, it is 9:20, and I am 10 minutes from my house. I have not done this at a wrestling show ever. Not even in town. Yeah. Like, just because they last until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, because there's 6 8-match cards. Mm-hmm. And people do get bored. Yeah, they do. Especially, I mean, now the freaking content is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Don't get me started on TikTok and Reels. I do a lot of our social media, or help our social media people do it. Yeah. And I'm having a guy, Alexander, my announcer, he helps me with a lot of stuff because I don't know it. I don't know.
And that's this guy right here?
Yes, that is Alexander Amaya, or Amaya. He is the voice of PWE. He is absolutely fantastic. That man is a cornerstone. Like, the wrestlers and my staff members are awesome, but he came in and stepped up. Like, that guy, he deserves to be on podcast too, because like, that guy's got a cool story to tell. Really? And he's just getting into doing what he's doing, but he's already been to 2 or 3 different other wrestling organizations that they called him out of state to go to places. Like, it's been awesome for him. I'm so happy for him. Like, it's cool to see him do it. And he's passionate about wrestling, man. Mm-hmm. He's out there training with the guys. Like, he wants to be a wrestler. Like, and he unfortunately will be leaving me at one point because he is military. Okay. So he's leaving at some point. But he's gonna come back. We're gonna stay in touch. Yeah. Like, even if he has to be like my voice away.
He's put it over the speakers.
That's what I told him. I was like, I said, I'm gonna record a bunch of like graphics and stuff of him and a bunch of different things, and he'll be just like the graphic guy. And like he just come back, and anytime we don't do a special video or something, it's Alexander doing it. It'd be freaking amazing.
You could put him in as a cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
Put him at the front.
Yeah,
so I mean,
great.
he's still basically there.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, it'd be awesome.
That is pretty crazy. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for the Summerfest, the Summer Smash Fest.
Yeah, Summer Smash Fest. It's gonna be good. My marketing people were coming up with names, and they one time said Summer Slam Fest. I was like, no, we can't do that. And they were like, why? I was like, because SummerSlam is a wrestling pay-per-view every year.
Probably one of the
big four. Every year we can't do that. And they're like, oh yeah, cool. So like, it's cool.
Did they forget or they just didn't know?
No. I have a one lady who is amazing, by the way. My one marketing lady who is Jamie Collier. I'll go shout out to her. She's absolutely fantastic. She had a cool idea that we are running with the brewery shows and things like that. And she is probably the best community outreach person ever.
Dang.
She's been awesome. She does full-time job, is a spouse to one of my performers, and does like powerlifting on the side and all this other stuff.
Dang.
Like this lady has everything.
She gets after it.
And she helps us out when she can, and I am forever grateful. And then I have like some teenagers that help me out.
Yeah.
Because you got to have teenagers.
Yeah, you got to have like the people that are about to run the country in a few years.
You got to have people that know what the TikTok algorithms are and stuff. Like I had marketing people, the people that run my booths up front are my kids' friends from Davison. And a couple of them are going to school for marketing.
Yeah.
So like they came and did my ticket booth at one time, and I had it all set up pretty, what I thought was pretty.
Yeah.
and I did retail for years. She comes over, she goes, "Can I change it?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, honey, you can do whatever you want." She's like, "I bet." And then I come back, and it looked way better. It really did. So I was like, "You can do it from now on. That's fine." But you got to do that, man. You got to surround yourself with good people.
Yeah.
You got to get the right people in the right places, because that's what PWE, that's the only reason why we can do stuff is I've got great people like that. I'm doing a lot myself, but I have a lot of people that are like, here, do this, help me do this. And, hey, you misspelled this on your post. And I'm like, oh, shit, my bad. Oh, sorry. But like, that kind of stuff. And if I didn't have people that cared, I wouldn't get that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So do you do that? You do this full time?
Full time now.
Dang.
I just earlier this year when we took off, I have an amazing partner. She is absolutely amazing. She has a wonderful job. She does her passion, and she's paid well for it, and it's amazing. And she believed in me and believed in what we were doing, and we came up with a plan and decision, and we were like, she's like, you can do this. She's like, you can make your money on the side. Like I do food delivery and other stuff on the side to make my scratch when I need it.
Yeah.
But this is what I work on when I wake up in the morning. This is what I work on when I'm going to bed, before I go to bed at night.
Dang.
This is what I push. I have a folder full of promo materials. I carry vendor applications, tickets, all kinds of stuff with me. I go downtown once or twice a month, and I physically go out and put up flyers. The downtown shops know who I am. Because I go in there and I'm like, hey, I'm putting on flyer again. And they're like, cool, man. And I was usually replacing it from the last one that I had up.
Yeah.
They don't take them down. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
So getting to do that and getting in the community and getting to know this town as an adult. Because I grew up here. I was a teenager here, and it wasn't the same. When I came back in 2015, it was a completely different place. So getting to know the new Augusta, but still the old Augusta, is pretty cool.
Yeah. How is it different?
Oh, I mean, Augusta National's like 5 times bigger.
Oh, yeah. They own almost all of Washington
Yeah, like
Road.
all of Washington Road. Like Olive Garden moved and everything. No, I mean, I will say that it got better. I mean, some people that live here will probably have their opinions, but
yeah.
I mean, yeah, but like when I left, Augusta was really Disgusta. Like it really was.
Yeah.
And that was 05, 06. It was not good. Evans wasn't as big as it is now, and like it was starting. Grovetown was nowhere what it is now.
Yeah.
And
Trying to get off that exit,
Yeah. So the growth has been great. The food market is amazing because, I mean, the South has great food, but all the amounts of food places you can go to now, that was non-existent back in the day.
It's pretty diverse now.
Yeah, that's pretty. I can go get Indian food. I didn't even know what Indian food was growing up.
I've still never had Indian food.
Well, I mean, but that's the kind of cool thing that makes me want to invest my stuff into this. Because I'll tell you, God's honest truth, maybe 5 years ago, I was ready to move. I was ready to be done. Me and my oldest child, we were ready to go move to Tennessee or to Colorado. I lived in Colorado for a few years, so I was going to go back. I was going to go somewhere else. We were just done. We were done with everything before COVID happened, and we were ready.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened and kind of stuck everybody in place, you know? And we still had the mindset. We still were like, this close to getting the heck out of here.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, just something happened, brought us in, kept us around. She got accepted to a really good school. I mean, we didn't want to change that.
Yeah.
And then things just lined up, man. And
dang,
I'm here, and I won't be here. I'll be here for a while.
That's what's up.
I got little kids that live out of state, but I got a family here, and then I'm putting down roots here, and I got a house and family land that we live on. So
dang,
we're building a school here in Augusta.
Yeah,
So,
I heard about the wrestling school.
Yep. So that's phase 2. It's supposed to be like phase 4. But things, you know, in business, things go out of order sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm blessed to have 12 shows in 1 year, so I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I'll take that over starting a school any day. But we have land already picked out. We have a couple. We live on about a couple acres of land that we've had family land for a while. So we're gonna build a big insulated, nice build and training facility there on private land first. Be very private training. Won't be a public school. It'll be invite only kind of thing. You know, you got to know some people kind of thing to do it.
So this is a good episode.
Yeah, it's a good end. I told the other podcast guy the same thing. but
I'll see you out there, David.
The reason why is we want to do it right.
Yeah.
And just like our wrestling, we want to do it in the right steps. We didn't want to go and pay a whole bunch of money on a building and then be sitting in that building and not be able to pay for it. Yeah. So we were like, all right, let's save the money up. Let's get to the money to the point. We've got the investment now. We've got to get concrete poured, and then we're putting the building up. Once we do that, then we're phase 1 of the training center. Then we have our own private dojo. We are going to have our own training in. We do training now privately at private property and in a building kind of thing, just ourselves.
Yeah.
But we don't advertise and we don't bring anybody new in. It has to be trained people. Because we don't have everything in place. It's hot. We don't have air conditioning. We don't have any. We didn't have heat in the wintertime, and those guys were out there in like 30-degree weather and bumping around. Oh, they were. I got pictures.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like, this is hardcore, man. Like, this is cool. I'm an old man. I ain't doing that. But yeah, so we're gonna do it that way. We're hoping by the end of all this hot summer weather, by the get into fall, we'll have it up and running where we can take new people in. But we're only gonna do little small classes at a time. And we're going to do assessments. We're not trying to take a bunch of people's money. We're going to see if you can actually physically do this.
That's one thing. People think they can do it, and they get gassed in 5 minutes.
I can't tell you how many times over the years I've seen people from all shapes, sizes, backgrounds, from athletic to non-athletic, get in this ring and go, man, this was way more than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Or I can't run, or I can't flip, or I can't do this. And if you can't do a couple of things, you can't work,
basics.
man. That's the basics. Yeah, like you can't do this. I'm sorry. And it doesn't matter what size you are. Fluff is one example. I'm another example. I mean, other people examples of sizes don't matter. It's the physical ability to move yourself and to take care of yourself and protect yourself, because that's what it is. At the end of the day, guys, this is a fight to protect everybody. You don't want to hurt anybody at the end of the day. You want everybody to be able to walk away and walk home. It's a contest. It's like boxing. Those guys ain't trying to kill each other, but it's just like boxing or UFC. We're trying to go home at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hit you in your jugular and make you, yeah. But, I mean, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it the right way. I got a couple of good trainers. I have an AEW contracted trainer that I can't drop right now. We will drop it when we do the school.
Hey.
But he's legit. Known him for a lot of years, and he's 100% legit. So we're going to have legit trainers, vetted in the business, guys that have been around. And we'll have guest trainers. I know a lot of people all over the country.
That's what I was about to say. You seem like you have some reach.
I got some people all over the country that I can call in to do little seminars and things like that just to get people to the next level. Because that's what I want, man. I want PWE to be the home that people think about when they think of wrestling in Augusta. This is where you learn it. This is where you go get entertained. This is where you hone your skills for the next level. Like, this is the it.
Yeah.
There's other people trying to be the next this or the next that. I don't want to be that. I want to be the first of what I'm doing.
Dang.
Like, I want it to be known for that.
Humble beginnings here at PWE, huh?
Man, I'm a big fan of the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah.
I love what they're doing, man. That guy is amazing. I watch him on TikTok all the time. I love that. Just to try to take something, an industry, and turn it around a little bit and give people a different perspective, but it's still the same thing. At the end of the day, I want people to love wrestling.
Yeah.
Because I want people to love wrestling like I do. Like, and you got to connect with people different ways.
Dang. Whew. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
As far as like the facility, what's the training going to be like? How are you guys going to stack that out?
So we're going to do a mix of actual training in a ring and actual training, on weights and different cardio things.
Dang.
So my design, it's not going to be a real big building at first, but still would be my design would be you'll have a ring for training, which we right now have access to 2 rings.
What size is it?
16 and a 17 right now. So I would like to have a 16 and 18 eventually, or 16, 14, just to have different sizes.
Yeah.
Because working the size of the ring really matters sometimes. WWE uses 20 or 22s, just for reference. But a standard independent wrestling like WCW used a 16-foot ring or an 18-foot ring. That's why their guys look so freaking big sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Is because they used a smaller ring than the other people.
Yeah.
A lot of the times. Not all the time, but a lot of the times.
Dang.
But yeah, so it'd be ring, a little bit of free weights and stuff that you can kind of do some things on. And then an area to watch tape. Because I think watching videos is very important, especially in a class where you can pick up videos and things. Yeah. And then I want a promo room. I want a room very similar to what kind of how you got set up here with lights and cameras and things like that, because I want you to be able to practice your craft. I think promos are something that I ask for of all my performers every single show. And if you're listening to this and watching this, I still want your promos, guys. But that's a way to express yourself. And you don't get a lot of practice with that besides sitting at your home in your mirror. No, I want to be able to like watch it and then have a video where they can watch themselves. And so they can practice and go back and forth, because that's some of the stuff I didn't get to do. I didn't learn how to be a character or how to do promo stuff until I was way far into it. Because the place I went to learn just taught me how to bump. They taught me how to fall and how to take falls. And I was too small to do any of the big stuff, so they didn't teach me any of the big stuff. I didn't learn how to pick somebody up over my head until I was like 7 years or 6 years sometimes into it.
Really?
Like really pick somebody up. I mean, I learned how to body slam. But like I learned how you could actually just do a pickup if you had the right posts and things, and didn't learn that until way later because I didn't have the best teachers.
Yeah.
Because they didn't learn the best. There's nothing against it. It's just how we got taught. You had to go to a multi-$1,000 school to even learn how to do the basics from a professional, unless you learn from a guy in his backyard.
Yeah. Or search it up on YouTube.
Oh,
that
yeah,
was still above
They had Tough Enough. They had Tough Enough for a while, so you could watch Tough Enough. But they taught Tough Enough wrong, too, sometimes. They did that to make you think Tough Enough was harder, or to make you think wrestler was harder, because there's a lot of cardio, man. Like, you got to do a lot of cardio, and they didn't show that on the show. They showed them falling and doing a bunch of stuff like that, but you got to do a lot of, like, cardio work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not just going in there and getting thrown around all the time.
Yeah. You also got to learn how to breathe.
Yes, breathe. That's one of the things we talk about all the time at training is just breathe. We got a couple of young kids, and they're just running drills, and we're just like, breathe. Just breathe. Don't worry about what you're doing. Just keep breathing. Because we don't want you to fall out, man.
Yeah. Can I say I think for the free weights, I think Sean Legacy should be a good instructor for that.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those.
He's got a physique that I'm jealous of.
Yeah, dude, he's I was looking at pictures. I have pictures that were sent to me in 2017. So in 2017, I was in Wisconsin. I lived up there, and I was trying to do a show. There was one of my first shows I was trying to promote, and I got a bunch of guys from down here to come up for me. And their ride ended up getting canceled. They couldn't come. Well, I forgot that Sean Legacy was one of those guys. And so he came up in my pictures. I was like, why do I have an old picture of Sean? And I was like, man, he was so small. And it was like 2017. He was still jacked.
Yeah.
But he was a lot smaller than he is now. So whatever he's on, like I want to be on kind of thing. Because if I'm, whew. But no, yeah, he'll be one of our. He's a really good instructor to be. I say this with all respect, to be as young as he is in the business. He's very knowledgeable and very respectful. And when he's talking to people, like when I've seen him in the ring with people, it's top notch. Like the guys I got, I'm so happy that I have just because they're respectful guys. Yeah. And they're guys that if I brought my kid in here to train, I'd feel comfortable with my kid in here.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess that's the type of, experience you want to create to where like everybody can, come and enjoy it.
You want to, man. You want to make sure that it's like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Very good. So yeah, why did you, out of all the animals in the world, real, fake, dead or gone, whatever, or alive, why did you choose a phoenix?
Why did I choose a phoenix?
Yeah.
This is one of the most common questions. Or why is it called a phoenix? That's more or less the question. So you actually asked it differently. So there you go.
Oh, dang.
I chose a phoenix and chose to call it Phoenix. One, I was looking for something different that nobody had used before, but I wanted to use something fire-related because fire has always been a big thing in my life. So that's where it kind of sparked it, ironically.
Pun intended.
Yeah. So I was like, well, there's a reason why I'm a pyro. Like, maybe that's the thing. But the Phoenix story has always been super cool to me. The whole rising from the ashes thing, it's something that we kind of used even back in the ministry days of rising from nothing.
Yeah.
And as I started putting it together, the people that were around me just screamed that story, that Phoenix story of like coming from nothing or coming from a bad situation or coming from this or whatever. So I was like, I wonder if there's any Phoenix wrestling places. And so I looked it up. There's not even a Phoenix wrestling in Phoenix.
Really?
Like, I thought there'd be a Phoenix one in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And that's actually the common misconception we get a lot is like, where y'all from? Phoenix, Arizona? I'm like, no, we're not.
Never been there.
Augusta. No, yeah, I've actually never been there. But I was like, no, that story resonates with me. It's really cool. If we could make it like that and I could use that, then it would work. Well, as it started coming together and the people started coming together, I didn't know that a lot of these people that work for me or work with me have these stories of coming from nothing and coming from crap and being told and being picked on in high school and being told wrestling was dumb, and now these guys are huge athletes. And I'm like, really? You came around like that too? Like, I was the nerdy guy in school in 14 going, hey guys, watch my VHS. And they're all like, man, you do wrestling? I'll tell you that right now. This goes out to all the haters. There's a couple of those guys that were sitting in this little group when I was a teenager saying, hey man, you did wrestling, that's kind of funny. A couple of the guys didn't laugh because a couple of the guys 20-something years later became my investors.
Oh, dang.
So they shout out to those two guys.
Full circle.
Those guys came in and go, hey man, we'll help you out.
That's what's up.
So
that's the homies.
Yeah. My two guys from college and prep, man, they're I won't throw them all the way out there. They don't like to get their name dropped like crazy because they don't care about them. But I appreciate that too. They know who they are, so they're awesome. But yeah, I mean, doing that full circle has been cool. So the Phoenix thing was a big push, and it's just grown, man. Everybody we've talked to, every new guy, we brought people in from out of state, and they're all like, man, like, thank you for giving me a chance. I'm like, giving you a chance? Why? And they were like, because I went through this, and this, and this. And I'm like, really? I booked a guy and didn't even know he had been through years of substance abuse, and he was just clean.
Dang.
And I booked him, and he was like, man, this is great. This gets me away from all that.
Dang.
So Phoenix is what it'll be. Like, I'll never change the name. Like, that'll just be what it is because that's what it stands for.
Yeah.
Like, it's giving wrestling a resurgence, a born again from that. Like, so it's so layered, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Why'd you choose wrestling experience? I know a lot of people do like championship wrestling, all that kind of stuff.
I wanted the experience, man.
Yeah.
I wanted somebody to walk away and say that was an experience. Like, that was something different. And that was a wrestling experience. And that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to give people is like, this is what wrestling is like.
Yeah.
And nobody used experience. I didn't see it. I saw entertainment and, Express and, all the other things like that. But
Extreme with an X.
Yep, exactly. So I just wanted to stand out and be different. Again, it just taking wrestling and making it a little different. There's a bunch of PWEs. If you look them up, there's a whole bunch of PWE, but
what do those usually stand for?
Like Power Wrestling. One was Premier Wrestling Entertainment. The E is usually entertainment.
Yeah.
PWX was Premier Wrestling Experience. So they used Experience, but they used PWX instead of PWE.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're just trying to be a little different.
Yeah.
And that's why we went, like, our posters look different. They look similar, but we gave them a little bit of a different flair. They kind of look like a, event poster and not a wrestling poster. And we tried to not go with, like, the theme of a movie theme or something like that. We went with like actual themes. Like we did like the Miami Vice kind of theme with that. And we did the Father's Day kind of theme with that
Baby
kind of
Daddy
thing.
Day.
Yeah. Oh, that was funny. That was so cool. That was such an organic name too.
I think did Cody and Sean come up with that?
So
they've always said that.
I will tell you how it came up with organically, and then how we spun it. So organically, I was going to call it like some kind of Father's Day something or another, because we were been doing like Mother's Day was Matriarch Mayhem.
Yeah.
And then we did Clover Clash for the March thing. So we were trying to keep the themes. And I was like, all right, we got to do a Father's Day show. And I was like, Father's Day Frolic or Father's Day Fight or whatever. Like none of that stuff sounds cool. And I was like, well, we got to call it something different. And Cody calls everybody Baby Daddy.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we're going to do Cody in a match, because we did know what we were going to do. So I was like, well, we'll call it Baby Daddy Day Bash. And I was like, they were like, well, how does that make sense though? Why would we call it Baby Daddy Day Bash? And I was like, well, we got to make Cody the main part of it. And so at the end of Matriarch show, Cody came out and saved it came out to the end of the match with Drew and Dre, and he saved Dre from getting like tapped out real hard. And so we had that face-off with Drew and Cody. Well, Drew left the belt in the ring. And so I got into the ring, and I was like, well, he doesn't want this, and he doesn't want it. So we're going to, the next show's called Father's Day Bash. I think we're going to change the name, because I think we're going to have a new champ. We're going to call it Baby Daddy Day Bash. And everybody went crazy. And I was like, oh, I didn't think we'd get that reaction. That was really cool. And it wouldn't have worked. You couldn't have gone somewhere else with somebody else and called it Baby Daddy Day Bash, because you'd got a little backslap from that. But because it worked like that, it was cool. And we got to work with it, so it was neat. So next year we may call it that, we may not. We may call it something different. So we'll see.
Father Frolic. I like Frolic.
Yeah. We did Froth Frenzy.
Froth Frenzy.
Yeah, that's what we did in Macon. That was where Sean wore the title. It was a Froth Frenzy at Fall Line. So it was a lot of F's.
F cubed.
Yep.
So I know you have the Summerfest coming up. Anything else coming up in the near future?
Yes. Macon, we're going to go back to Macon August the 15th. We go back there for Taps and Takedowns. We're going to have Sal Renaro. I think I said his name right, Sal Renario. He's from NWA on TV wrestling and has done a couple things in the South around there. We're going to have all of our major players too, but we're going to have a couple other guests and stuff. We're partnering with a wrestling place out of Forsyth called WrestleMerica. Good guys out there. We're just going to go do the little partnership thing to kind of help us out. They get a good crowd out there, and they just reached out to us about helping with rings and stuff. So that's going to be a big little like conglomeration show there. But we got a good turnout in Macon last time, so it was really cool. And they have a beautiful facility there. It is like, you got to look at pictures and stuff. That thing is absolutely gorgeous. So we're going back there in August, and of course we'll be back at Savannah River in August. So Summer Smash Fest is going to kind of end our season, if you will.
Yeah.
It's going to be the end of some storylines, into some things, and then in August we're going to pick it up with a new setup. We're going to have a new set.
Dang.
So we're working on a new entranceway set. So we're going to try to up our production a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't know quite yet what all is going to be ready by then, but I got guys that are working on some lighting systems and maybe a TV or so. We use a projector right now at Savannah River, but we're going to have our own stuff.
Dang.
So that'll be our next phase.
Yeah.
And then kind of go from there.
That's what's up.
And then shows every second Thursday at Savannah River from now on until December.
Dang.
So
Man, you got it loaded.
yeah, it's been crazy, man. Doing that on top of the other shows. We ran 7 shows in 2 months this past summer.
Dang.
Because we did so many travel shows. We went to like South Carolina and Macon and Watkinsville and like 4 or 5 other places. And so we were like back to back to back. We did 2 shows back to back. We did one on Thursday, one on Friday. One on Thursday, one on Friday.
Dang. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so how did you get the Macon gig? Is that another brewing company?
Another brewing company. Fall Line Brewing Company reached out to us after our second show, man.
That's pretty crazy.
Our second show blew up online on social media. Shout out to Savannah River for posting all that stuff for us because we got reached out by 4 different breweries. And they were like, hey, man, can you come out and do the same thing for us? And we were like, sure. Yeah, we can. So we spun it. We got with the marketing people. Jamie again, awesome. We spun it into a road trip. So we called it the first ever Georgia Carolina brewery road trip.
Dang.
And so we did like 6, 7 shows on this trip. And we included Savannah River as part of the trip because we'd come back home, you know, and just go back, run a circle. But it felt like old circuit days. We ran 3 shows in 2 states at 3 different venues in 1 week.
Dang.
Shows hadn't done that in forever, especially not a new place.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy. We did a Sunday show, a Thursday show, and a Friday show all in 1 week.
Dang. That's pretty crazy. So when these venues reached out to you, did they give you a price that they would pay you to come out, or did you have to pay to rent out the space?
So it's a mix. And traditionally in wrestling, you pay the venue to, like, if you go to a rec center, you have to, like, if you rent a rec center for any event, you have to pay them for the event.
Yeah.
And then you pay them for the space and pay them for the time and all that stuff like that. And then you have to either make your money back by selling tickets or it's an event you put on for your people. Now, you go into a place like a brewery or somewhere like that. If you're a gig, sometimes they'll bring you in and pay you X amount of money. So we have some places that have done that for us. They'll pay us whatever. And then some places will do a gate split. So we sell tickets, you get a cut of the gate, that's what you get, and then we get a cut of the rest of the gate.
Oh, okay.
So that's what we do with some places. So it depends on where we are, depends on how we do it.
Yeah.
But either way, we're not out to make a ton of money. So we try to make a deal with some of them, but we're trying to make money at the end of the day. We're trying to pay the bills.
Yeah. Gotta keep the lights on somehow.
Yeah, gotta keep lights on, gotta keep paying the guys. I have really top-notch talent, and I don't like underpaying anybody, so I don't want to do that. And I want to get to a point where I'm overpaying some people because I think they deserve it.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff is where we, try to get to that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it depends on the venue. Sponsors is the biggest thing. That is what pays the bills. We have a couple cool sponsors. This one coming up, we've got Sports Injury Bodyworks. They're amazing. They do, basically, if you had a sports or injury or any kind of thing like that, they do rehabilitation kind of work.
Yeah.
It's not like chiropractic, but it's like, it's medically, they're all medical professionals. They have all the acronyms and things that I can't list.
All the diplomas.
Yeah, all the diplomas, all the things. But they do fantastic work. They're actually working with my spouse now, working with some back issues that she's having. So that's been amazing.
Dang.
And they're working with some cool people.
That's what's up.
And then Love Augusta has been a major sponsor. They just did Wiener Fest, which was amazing.
Wiener Fest.
Oh, that was so cool, man. Watching people do a hot dog eating contest was so awesome. We're going to be involved. PWE is going to be involved in that one. We're going to put a couple of our wrestlers in the hot dog eating contest next year.
Oh, dang.
So next June, be on the lookout for that one. We might put Fluff and Sean or somebody
I was
like
about
that
to
in
say,
there. I think Sean or Fluff could put them down.
They could eat some glizzies for sure.
Yeah, I think they could do
sure.
And then we got Villa Wagon's always been our food truck sponsor.
Yeah.
So they've been awesome. We're going to have a couple little other food vendors, but they're our big one there.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Shrunk 3D. That's really cool. They do the miniature shrunk figures of people. So they'll take you in a photo booth and shrink you down to anywhere between 3 inches to 12 inches. And it is like lifelike. Like,
really?
It's down to the details. Like, they would have the details on my watch and like my wrist and everything like that. It's crazy.
And your watch would be working.
Oh, it's weird, man. They have the tick on it and everything like that. It's so weird. I watched, he had a 12-inch one that he was showing me, and a guy had like a thing of dip in his pocket. And you could tell what kind it was.
Oh, wow.
Like, it was sticking out. And I was like, oh, that's so weird. So that's been really cool. They've been an awesome sponsor. And we've got a bunch of, like, Joey's Forge. They're doing the mobile axe throwing. That's been a really cool one too. That's shout out my stepdad. He's been awesome. He's been on Forged in Fire, the show where they make the knives and shit. Yeah. So he did that for a minute. And then started his own forging stuff. He'd be a cool guy to have on the podcast. That man has had a life. That man has been a wrestler, a magician, a photographer.
I used to want to be a magician.
Oh, he'd do all kinds of stuff for you, man.
Like, I'm about to get his number.
I'll give you his card. I got his card. I'll give you a card. He's awesome. He wants exposure too, so he's cool. He's an old looking Santa Claus looking dude, so he's pretty cool.
Perfect.
Yeah, it looks
That'd be perfect for the thumbnail.
Did Santa Claus too. Yeah, you can put him like thumbnail of like 6 characters, and like he's done them all.
6
He was
men in
Doink
one.
the Clown when he was a wrestler.
For real?
Yeah, he dressed up like Doink the Clown and did like, because there was like 6,000 Doinks. I want you to know that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when the original Doink stopped doing it, there was like a whole bunch of them. People just picked up the mask and did it. But yeah, he's been super cool, man. Like he's doing axe throwing at this event. He did mobile forging where he was just showing people how to make knives and things like that.
Dang.
Pretty cool, man.
That's
that support of just, even if he wasn't my stepdad, just that kind of stuff is why I like doing the mixed gimmicks like this, the mixed shows.
Mm-hmm. So how much is it to sponsor a show?
So sponsors, I have stuff. I have lists and things. Let's see, I have like the paperwork. I told y'all I keep this stuff.
He got it on him.
I keep me.
And do y'all do where y'all can sponsor a wrestler?
Yes. So that's what I was gonna share. So we have 3 sponsor tiers. Look at that. See, I got all my stuff together.
Dang, you came prepared.
You can sponsor a performer. $50. It's only $50. That's it. $50. Everybody got $50 below. I've seen somebody blow $50 on DoorDash. Don't even. And with that, you get an in-ring mention. So you can just be like John Blow, whoever. Like, don't matter. I'll talk to you.
Drew Peacock.
Yep, that's it. You get a signed 8x10 of the sponsored performer. So if you want Sean Legacy, you want whoever, they will sign it for you. Cody. But he won't be there. But I mean, I'll get him to do it. I don't care. Then you get a ringside seat and access to backstage. Well, we don't do the backstage. We do actually a pre-show meet and greet now. So like you go in there pre-show, you get in the ring, you get a photo op and everything. It's really cool. Then you can do a match. You sponsor a whole match, $150. You get 11x17 poster, one of the big ones like that one over there. And then you get your logo and your name put on the graphics. We'll put you on all the match graphics and stuff.
Dang.
We'll throw you everything on there like that. We get you 2 ringside seats, and then you get 4 general admission tickets that you can give to people. Like, that's cool. Whatever.
That'd be like a giveaway or something.
Yeah, it's a giveaway. If you're on a podcast and you just want to give it away to people, that's
Dang.
cool. And then if you want to sponsor the whole event, $300, you get 3 mentions all night. Alexander will sing your name when he walks around. He don't care. And then you get your logo, all this stuff. You get 2 11x17s signed. You get dinner for 4 from Villa Wagon. They'll give you dinner, the whole thing.
For free.
For 4 people. For free. Well, I mean, you're paying $300, but it's for 4 people.
The food is $300.
And then
everything
you
else
get
is free.
a VIP table. So not sitting where everybody, I mean, if you want to sit ringside, that's cool. I'll give away your table. But you get a ringside table where you can eat your food, you can have your beer sitting there and everything, and be able to see everything. And in this event right here, you want to do it because you get the band, you get all the stuff, you get free axe throwing when you get your ticket. So like it's cool. So yeah, all the things. All the things.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That is smart. I've never seen another company do that to where they can sponsor a match or sponsor a wrestler.
Yeah, we've seen it. I won't say I'm the first. We've seen it in other places, and it's something to try.
Yeah.
And I really think with stuff like this that if you had somebody you knew and like you really wanted to get behind them and you really want to see them do stuff, like that's really cool. Because if you sponsor a wrestler, I'm gonna tell you this right now, that money's going to them. Like I'm not just gonna be like, oh, it goes to us and then it'll trickle down to them. No, that's a special thing that I will give that $50 to the wrestler, and I'll be like, cool, thank you for paying this person. Like that's what you did.
Yeah.
And they may make more than $50, but that $50 that you gave me will go to them.
Is it tax free?
Yes, tax free. Yes, I take Cash App, Venmo, all
their
that
money.
stuff like that. Like it's cool. They get all that. That's how we pay everybody. Like it goes back and forth, friends and family. That's what we do. I try to do it that way, mostly cash. If I can, I pay all the guys cash before they leave.
Dang.
Just because I got some guys come out of town, some guys travel, some guys are right down the road, and I don't care. I just want them to go home or be able to go to to the gas station and put gas in their car because maybe they got to go to work the next day or something.
Yeah.
I've traveled to Tennessee for 8 hours and the guy didn't pay me at all. And he just, sorry, man, we didn't have the gate. That doesn't happen. I will tell you that every single one of my wrestlers, no matter what it is, they get paid something. And they will get paid no matter where they're coming from. And they travel, they all do. They know they all will get something. Because I don't believe in that, man. You're doing a job. You're working for me, for these people. Yeah. They paid your money. I'm going to give it back to you. And if I don't make money at the end of the day, cool. But I'll figure out how to make money.
Yeah. Dang. PWE sounds pretty special.
I try, man. I'm trying to make it that way. I don't want it to be like a Joe Blow anybody.
Yeah. So you got Summerfest coming up, and then August down in Macon.
Yep, August down in Macon.
And in Savannah River.
And in Savannah River Brewery, yep.
Dang, man.
And then we're going to try to, our goal by next year, if we get all these breweries on board, is to do 2 to 3 shows a month. So it'll be one here in town, and then the other ones will be out of town.
Yeah.
And we'll do that every month. And it'll just be on a regular returning basis. It's going to make promotion and social media a little tricky, but I think it can be done. I think if we get a reputation like we do, like right now, Savannah River, we don't get a lot of pre-sales as much as we did when we first started. Mm-hmm. But I can tell you right now, there's at least 150 to more than that at every show.
Yeah.
In the last couple of shows, there's been that at least. And that's great. I can't tell you how many shows that I've run or been on with that don't even draw 30. So to keep getting over 100 every show is a blessing. Yeah. So that's amazing. So if I can do that at other places and other towns, because it's just entertainment for them. Yeah. Because we go to Macon on a Thursday night too. We don't go on a Saturday night or Friday where there's other stuff going on. We go on a Thursday or a Sunday.
Dang. That's what's up, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Oh, yeah, man.
Anything else that you want to, shout out? You got the training facility. You got the sponsorships.
Yep, got the sponsorships. Got that. We are still looking for a couple. When will this go out? When will this get posted?
Whenever you want it to be.
Oh, okay. Well, if it gets posted in time, and even in time, we're doing vendors too. I don't know where the paper is for that one, but we're taking vendors for this show. I got like 4 slots left. By the time this posts, I may have like 3. Mm-hmm. But it's 2 different vendor spots. One's $150, one's $100. If you give a discount, we give you a $50 discount off. So you can get a vendor spot in our little brew house in a little tent area for $50. Doesn't have air conditioning, but it's got fans and stuff like that. It's better than being outside.
Yeah.
And then if you want to be inside, we have little table spots in there that we can do stuff like that. And we're just a way to get some local people in. We got a rug lady coming.
A rug lady.
This lady is she makes custom rugs. And we just posted about her on social media. It's Tough Days, T-U-F-T, T-U-F-T-D-A-Y-Z.
Tuft, okay.
Tuft Days. But she makes custom rugs. She had a Rey Mysterio mask, and she had a bunch of stuff. Like I'm gonna do the whole pulling the phone out thing because it's funny. But I took the pictures because I was like, this is great. Like I gotta see this. But I was like, man, I'm going to reach out to you. I'm going to figure out what we can do about getting you on. Let's see. There it is.
I had another dude on here that makes custom rugs too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the custom made rug right there. It has a lot of cat hair right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. Okay. Oh, I am not finding it. Do you have Wi-Fi or you can? No.
Was it on?
You can look at our page. We just posted it, but my phone is being crazy. Hold on. Let's see. See, it's modern technology. That's the way it works.
Where's it at?
Yeah, right. So that post right there.
This one?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you slide over one more.
Dang, okay. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I'll put it up on the thing.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. So that lady and her husband were cool, and they wanted to take pictures in the ring while we were at a show.
Okay.
So that was really neat.
Tough Days. Dang, I might have to have them on too. Those look pretty good too.
Yeah, she does really good work. We looked at all her stuff, and I gave her a card, and I was like, hey, she even said she had something going on, and then she reached back out, and she's like, actually, I don't. I was like, actually, cool.
Actually, you're coming.
So that's, I mean, she's local to Georgia, so I'm just trying to use people that are as local as I can.
Yeah.
Saturday's tough. There's another event going on. Shout out to downtown Soul City. They're doing an event in downtown, so it's cool for them. They're awesome fans and people to show. So, just a lot of stuff on Saturdays in the summer, man. trying to get everybody's attention. But
yeah,
we've already got good pre-sales on tickets, so I'm not worried about it. We've already sold VIP tables. Not worried about it.
Dang.
Yep.
And this is inside, too.
Yeah, inside.
It will not be outside.
I promise all the action will be inside. The only thing you have to go out in any kind of heat for is to go throw an axe, but that's not even outside. That's just in the brewery.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
So it's AC inside. You will not be sweating.
Nope.
You'll only be sweating out of nervousness.
Yeah.
And complete suspense.
Because we will, especially when they pull out ladders and stuff like that, will we get a little crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. This has been awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening to this. Oh, do you want to shout out the Instagram and Facebook stuff?
Yes. So everything is at Phoenix Wrestling Experience. It's a long name, but it works. But phoenixwrestling.net is our website. It's a very basic website, but it gives all the social links and everything like that you can get to. But yeah, on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on TikTok. We have an X account. We don't really use the X Twitter thing as
Twitter,
much. I mean, it's but we're doing the reels and all the other stuff. So, most of social media, our Instagram is amazing. Like some of the reels that they come up with on there, is fantastic. Some of the stuff with Cody and Aaron were just absolutely great.
Yeah.
So yeah, check that stuff out. And then PWESummerSmash.eventbrite.com is where you get tickets for that. PWEtickets.eventbrite.com is where you get tickets for every other show that we ever do at Savannah River. We just changed it up for the name for that one to make it a little special. And we have custom tickets. So if you want souvenir tickets.
Oh, yeah, I saw those. Those are pretty cool.
Actual souvenir tickets. They're individually numbered. I made these things myself.
He's holding gold, people.
Come on. I only made 100 of these. So, they'll be gone. I've already sold a good bit of them. So,
Dang.
and they got a couple of them. So, it's okay. Yeah, there's some in your bag over there.
Oh, sweet,
yeah,
sweet.
So they got tickets to the show. They're going to be there if they can, and then that's going to be good. So it's going to be awesome.
All right, sweet. Well, thank you, man. I
No
appreciate
problem at all,
it.
man.
Thank you guys for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you at Summerfest. And yeah, we'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah. And watch all of his stuff. He's
got
awesome.
my soul in a choke. I feel like I can't breathe. Keep my foot on the gas. My life in full speed. Feel like I